I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Hunter, and this is
the Family Showdown! Hello and welcome to the next installment of my top 100 games of all time 2021 version. We're here. We like games. We like lots of different games. I like a really wide variety of games, and you're going to see that in this particular top 10 where we are talking about my 90 through 81. So without further ado,
There is a do.
There is a do? What?
I'm Hunter, and this is Rebecca.
It's introduced in the intro part of the video.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
How am I introduced?
Oh, it's not a regular thing. Hey, this is my minion. I'm just kidding. My partner in crime, my fellow life adventurer.
It is introduced in the beginning, yes.
I thought so.
But
I don't trust
I don't know what's going on. What's your number 90, sweetie?
Something happened, and I don't even know. My number 90, the stuff you're here for, the excitement, the adventure, the year 1800. I know that was a odd segue, right? No, this was an exciting year, at least as far as this board game's concerned. Oh my goodness. Okay. I was like hooked on this game from the get-go. So you're going around and it kind of has, for me, it gives me a slightly Seven Wonders vibe. So you've got goods of a certain type. Your neighbors may have some different goods of a certain type. You can borrow their goods to mix with your goods to make other goods that are worth victory points and stuff and things. Kind of like Seven Wonders. If you haven't played Seven Wonders, go check it out, and then you'll understand what I'm talking about. But if you have played Seven Wonders, you'll get to see this. It's all in 1800 terminology. The most fun was saying that I would like to borrow your bacon so that I can make a radio.
A radio?
And you're like,
it doesn't quite work that way.
Not in the year 1800. but it's like, I'd like to have some bacon so I can make some soap and all this stuff. And it's so much more fun if you go off the names of the goods because it just sounds sometimes kind of ridiculous. But you're wheeling and dealing and trading and things and building up your little engine and your empire and stuff and going out to fulfill needs and for goods and stuff. And of course, the end result of all these kinds of games, victory points. But anyway, go ahead. You were about to say.
Well, first I'm shocked this is high up on your list because this is not really your
my wheelhouse
slab of bacon. I don't know. Anyway, so this what I like about this game, what I find interesting, it's basically just a kind of almost a resource management engine building kind of game. But what's cool is it's got worker placement pseudo. Basically utilize workers to produce those goods, and there's like 4 or 5 different types of workers, something like that.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is you start out with a set of workers, and you can get more workers, but in order to get more workers, you have to basically take a contract. And so as you get more workers, you get more and more contracts.
Like
and one of the triggers at the end of the game is you got to burn through and get rid of all your contracts. So the more workers you get, the more contracts you get, the more workers you get, the more it just builds and builds. And sometimes you have to switch gears and start cranking out those contracts. It's interesting.
It is. It's weird because most games don't do something like that. You start with a finite amount or you get some, but it's a different way. And this one, you're fulfilling the contracts that you're trying to use to end the game, but then getting stuff that sets you back again. And you're like, what? And the first time we started that, the first couple rounds, we're like, there's no way. Oh, yes, there is.
Yeah, at the end, you really start burning.
At first, as you're starting to work up your stuff, you're like, there is no way. And you're like, should I make this more conservative choice because I feel like I've got all these people now? Or do I need to go and just keep rolling with it and hope it all works out in the end? It's a really interesting set of choices. And it's just fun because there's a ridiculous variety of different goods and things that you want and they want and everybody wants. And you got to build up and trade in. And so you're wheeling and dealing with everybody. I think it's only just the people on either side of you. So you can't really trade with anybody that's across from you, something like that, if there's more players. But your neighbors are who you're going to work with, which is just like Seven Wonders.
I can't recall. We haven't played it 4 players, so I'm not sure. Maybe. I don't remember.
No, it was neighbors. It was neighbors.
Yeah, so this is a great one. If you like, it's a Martin Wallace game. It's based on a video game, the Anno video games. So I don't know anything about those games. So
I
can't really
know
talk.
that I might want to play them at this point in time.
Yeah, this is a
because,
really nice engine builder, cube pushing, super
like,
strategy game.
puzzly, yeah.
With it's almost but not quite perfect information kind of game. I mean, there is some slight randomness to it in terms of card draws, but for the most part, the game is all out there in front of you to do. And
Oh, it's just great because you just, I don't know, I love just feeling the gears turn as you're looking at the different options and going, okay, how do I want to maximize my efficiency on this so I get the best bang for my buck and still not go broke borrowing from my neighbors for different things. It's just, when do I want to build what? And do I want to corner the market on something so they have to borrow from me? And just fulfilling that juggling act. It's just a great combination of things. And it's another one that plays pretty quickly. Oh, no, this one is longer. It's longer.
No, it doesn't
Yeah,
play
that's right.
quickly.
It feels like it does, though. I'll be honest, it says 120 minutes.
The turns go fairly quickly.
They go pretty quickly.
Yeah,
I didn't
it's a
feel like it
2+
was.
hour game, easy.
It didn't feel like it, though.
Easy.
At least to me,
hours.
it didn't feel like it. It felt like you're engaged and you're doing something.
I'm shocked. I didn't think this would. I knew you liked it, but I didn't think you liked
Yeah,
it that
I
much.
like it a lot.
I enjoyed this one a lot. This will be probably even higher up on my list.
I would not be
when I make
surprised by
it.
that.
So,
Yes. So that is my number.
and it's
90.
obviously new because it's a 2021 game, maybe.
Is it that new? Is it a 2021?
uh-huh.
Wow, that's crazy. I did not think we had a 2021 game on here. Pretty cool. All right, so my next game is my number 89, and I think I kind of have a theme running with this so far because this is another boat game. A little heftier one here, and that's Endeavor Age of Sail. Oh my goodness. I didn't want to fall in love with these games. I don't usually like necessarily boats and stuff. That's Hunter's shtick. Like,
I'm on a boat.
he really likes to be on boats in the water exploring and stuff. But this one, it's got some different unique mechanisms that I really enjoyed. You've got a map and they've got segmented off into different regions. And they have to be unlocked. There's only one region that's actually unlocked. And you have to do a bunch of things to unlock them. And as you're doing this different stuff, you can go in and there's... it's really just, there's not that many different actions that you can do. So you're going to boat around to different places, okay? And you're going to draw more powerful cards, try to build up kind of a little bit of an engine with your hands. You can attack people and take stuff from them. It's kind of a little bit of fighty area control stuff. And as you're doing these different things and you, I'm trying to remember what it is exactly you do. It's called occupying. There's like two different terms if it's over the land and if it's over the water. But as you occupy space on the land, you get to put a token down. And if you are the one that has the maximum amount of tokens when you unlock this thing, you get certain benefits and perks. And you have the ability to really take over that area much more easily than, say, somebody else that didn't have the majority in that. So you're working for an area majority. It kind of chain reacts onto a whole bunch of different things. It's also really good to conquer lands that are right next to each other for the same sorts of reasons. They have different things that will kind of chain. There's a lot of resource building, a lot of things changing hands over time too, because as you're fighting for that majority, you also get certain things as you explore new lands. You're going to get victory points and different things for that. So new lands to you may be somebody else's land, obviously, and you're still fighting for area majority to get those victory points. So there's a lot of juggling around that happens. Another thing that's a plus with this particular game, as you can see, we have another beautiful insert set that has lids.
These are the buildings you can purchase. Some of I think the ones on the right are randomized on the game, or
And then there's
certain
some other
ones.
set.
And then there's all the ones that are always in the game. And each person has their own cool little box with all their little bits in it.
It's so
Their starting
awesome.
building and stuff like that.
You just hand it to them and it's got the starting buildings and everything. Then that's how you kind of build your main victory points, is getting all the stuff together to earn to get these trays, because you kind of like it's almost like a tech tree thing. You're going to successfully get a bunch of them. It's really neat. I really like the idea of unlocking parts of the parts of the board game instead of just sitting and you have the whole map to yourself. You know, you have to earn your way through.
Kind of represents exploration.
It really does. It felt a little more like you actually were exploring. What is kind of tough, two-player, that can mean that you may or may not unlock very much of the board.
Right.
We noticed that. You have to make a concerted effort to either pseudo work together to do that sort of thing, or if you're not and you're just going, full on gaming, we have played this before. We only unlocked 2 of the 4 areas. Just half the board wasn't even being used. That happened. It was just a super aggressive, tight game. It's kind of nice that way too, because you can play it several different ways, and there's several viable ways to kind of go about getting everything you need to win. So
I like this one. Again, I don't think I like it quite as much as you do.
Which is odd because it's tacky.
Attacking is part of it, but it's more just area control, and when you get areas adjacent to each other, you get sometimes there's a benefit that you unlock between them. So concentrating in one area has its benefits, but spreading out also has benefits. This version, the Age of Sail version of the game, is crazy. As you saw, crazy overproduced, but nothing wrong with that.
It was really pretty. I just love the choices because, like you said, you have different ways to go about it. Do you want to chain them? Do you want to get different stuff? I felt like all of the choices were good. There's not one that was like, wow, this is really inferior. This isn't going to get me anywhere. No, it's just another way to get those points. It's just who gets the better engine going.
Yeah, this is one of the ones where when you get set up and you're playing and someone wanders by and looks at it, it looks like a massive, heavy, 4X ship game, but it's really like an hour-long Euro-y area control game.
Yeah, and it really does take about an hour, and there's only 5-6 steps that you can take throughout the game as you're doing stuff. So the choices are pretty easy. So once you start playing, you're going to remember how to play the game. You're not referring back to a bunch of stuff. I really liked that about it. So there you are, Endeavor Age of Sail. My number 88 is going to flip to a much lighter game after that, and that is the silliness that is Vikings Gone Wild. So yes, I know it's like a heavy game to silliness. This game is another deck builder, and it's about Vikings. I know, fancy that, right? Kind of has boats, a little bit. Vikings took boats. Anyway, I'm trying to stick with my boat theme. It didn't really work. But this one, deck builder, and you've got a nice tableau of cards to choose from that we can use, and you're building up buildings that give you resources and stuff that help you to go out and purchase more things that give you victory points, and some of the buildings do, obviously, and there's also super weapons and different things that do. And you're kind of racing each other for these things, and you go and defeat bad guys and stuff too. But what's neat about it is you're attacking each other. You can attack each other every turn. You have battles and stuff. What's unique about this particular game is I can fight to my heart's content. It doesn't actually damage him. I say I damaged him and I get, credit for doing all this stuff, but it does not affect his engine building in the slightest. There are a couple very minor attack cards that might block them from producing for a turn.
Right.
But nothing actually gets destroyed. So this isn't one of those games where you work really hard and you finally start your engine going and then someone comes over and goes, ha ha ha, I attack you, flick, and then your card that you just worked on for 3 turns is gone. It doesn't do that. I love that about it because you can just feel so attack, I'm going after this and I'm beating this up and doing all this stuff. And you still get to have your happy little merry turn and build all this stuff and have your engines fire off like you wanted it to. I really love that about that game. Otherwise, it's pretty typical engine building deck builder kind of game. I mean, that doesn't stand out about it. It's very common sense. You do this, you do your actions, you draw up, and next turn kind of thing. Very straightforward, except for this cool attacking stuff. And I love that. I think it's so much fun.
So, where to begin?
You don't like it as much as me.
No, and the thing is that I think your last set of time we talked about Clank in Space. I really like deck builders where the deck building is kind of the gears that turn a game that's a board game, right? So in Clank in Space, you got this deck builder going on, but you got a dude, you run around the map, you're collecting stuff, you're doing all sorts of cool stuff and doing things. You just deck build in this game.
This is just deck building.
You do build buildings, and the buildings do produce resources, but you're not.
It's mostly the deck building.
It's a Dominion Plus kind of game ish.
I could see that.
But yeah, I really like the deck builders. It's
just one element,
especially
of it,
like the Lost Ruins of Arnak and the Dune Imperium game and games like that, where the deck building drives stuff that's happening on a board where you're doing worker
fair.
placement or you're doing other things. This one, you are building buildings. You kind of have a tableau of buildings, but there's not a central board where you're interacting and doing things. So this one just doesn't do it for me.
I love it.
But she loves it. Therefore, but indirectly, I'm forced to like it.
Oh, brother. That's so not true. So not true. That's too funny. But yeah, it's one of those, if you just want to have a nice, fun deck builder game, that's kind of a fun, unique twist to it. So there you go. My number 87, Hunter's going to hate on anyway, too, because that's just how he is. Oh, my goodness. I know.
I don't hate. I appreciate.
No, he actually does like this game. Not nearly as much as me, but he likes to call it Whose Turn Is It? The game. And that is my number 87, which is Splendor. This is the Cities of Splendor expansion box because we thought the box looked cooler. We wanted to branch out and mix it up because we ended up getting the expansion. But the original box is just Splendor. You don't really need the expansions to have a good time with this. We play the base game the most, to be completely honest. You've got these really cool poker chips. Let me show you these heavy-duty suckers. We have ours in little tubs right now, so they don't clack around too much. Heavy-duty, nice, brightly colored, have gems of different types on them. And on the cards, they've got costs. And they produce these gems, and you want to buy cards that give you extra gems, and so that you don't have to get so many of these to pay for future cards, because they're going to get more and more expensive, need more and more gems, but they also give you victory points. And it's a race with your little engine builder you got going on with these lovely gems to get these cards that are worth a lot of victory points, and you need certain sets and stuff like that at the end of the game. And once you get up to 15 points, you're the winner. So it's a nice, smooth gameplay. You've got a tableau of cards out that everybody's choosing from that have different levels of cost. There's some that are pretty much free. They only do a little bit of stuff, though. Very minor assistance to you. And then there's some medium level that cost a little bit. You need to have a little bit of your engine and tableau built up. You can get some stuff occasionally. They do have victory points. And then you got your level 3 stuff that's really expensive cards, but they throw a lot of victory points on those. Plus, you've got the 3 royalty people at the top that I think it depends on how many players you have, how many people are at the top. But then they're worth another good chunk of victory points. And once you get one of them, no one else can get at those. So everybody's racing to try to get them because they're worth a lot of victory points, helps push you towards that magic number 15. And it's just smooth. You take your turn, you either pick up chips or you buy a card. That's pretty much it. That's the game. Love it.
I like how she said that. It's just smooth. You just take your turns. This is Chit Chat the game. Whose turn is it? So it says right here on the back, if you look.
What?
It says 30 minutes. I don't know if I've ever played a game of Splendor that's taken less than an hour. Just saying. That's our own. Your mileage may vary. Or your what do they say in, you know how we say your mileage may vary?
Yeah.
What do they say in like Europe? Your kilometers may vary?
Mileage is mileage.
No, a mile is a mile.
They still use the word mileage, I think.
I don't think so.
All right. Well, you Europeans, please put down in the comments below.
Are you Canucks up in up north?
Yeah, basically anyone else in the world that doesn't use our ridiculous imperial measurement system. Tell us, do you use the word mileage?
Now your mileage intrigued. May vary. Anyway, I like this game. I enjoy it. I prefer to play it in 30 minutes. So I have a question for you. I'm gonna make you Johnny on the spot, as they say.
Uh-huh.
So, Marvel Splendor.
I need to play it again.
We played it a couple of times.
We have. I don't know if I put it on because I couldn't remember well enough the difference between the two, so I kind of cheated and lumped it all together.
Oh, I prefer Marvel Splendor over this one. It adds kind of just another little layer.
It has a little twist to it, yeah. And I always like the straightforward one. The Marvel one's fun. I like the gems theme, although the Power Stones is pretty cool, not gonna lie. I don't know. I need to play it again. We need to have
Marvel
like a
Splendor
back-to-back.
Greater than. I'm trying to do it like in your point of view. What would that be?
The alligator. Think
That's
about the alligator. Which way is the alligator facing?
Yeah, but it's opposite for them. So it'd be, I do less than sign, which is, I don't know.
My opinion is greater than.
So it's like this. Greater than. Oh my gosh, what did I do?
I don't know what just happened.
Next.
I don't know what just happened. That was
Next.
good. So that was my number 87. My number 86 is new to us as well.
Lots of new games.
Yes, it's kind of interesting. A lot of really good plays this year of stuff. And this is the gorgeous game that is Meadow. Meadow. Now, I think part of it is I'm a sucker for the art and I love the nature theme. So that's part of it. That really helps, I think. But what's neat is you have a tableau of cards that we're working from, and we're kind of building up this. It's one of those games where you're building up sets and stuff, but as you're doing that, you're also kind of closing off the sets that you are using to pay for to make your next cards. So eventually you're kind of closing off your own system that you're making. So you have to make choices to keep putting out there elements that you can use to purchase more cards in the future as you're making cards. And so you have to keep in mind the fact that you're losing stuff as you're gaining. And so there's this really tight balancing system, because once you have a certain, I think it's 7 cards, and you can only build out a certain number of times, you have to stop and you can only build up on them, which closes off everything further. So you want to maximize as many victory points as possible as you're building up these cards, but you're also losing all those, different elements that you use to pay for said cards. I just love, it's kind of a little bit brain birdy, but not heavily so. It's a nice medium light game. You get to sit there and gawk at the really pretty art, and you don't really want to sit there and gawk too much, because you do want to pay attention to what your opponents are doing, so that they're not taking off with something or doing the same kind of sets that you are, because then those types of cards may get scarce. So it's a really interesting balance. It's gorgeous. I don't know, it's just really a smooth game. This is another one that plays fairly quickly, as I recall. Yeah, and seems to be the magic number tonight, an hour-ish. And I don't know what to tell you. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's got some cool card drafting mechanism to draft your card. But she said that the kind of the gimmick or the selling point is that engine building, and you're destroying your engine as you go, and you have to decide what parts to destroy and what to utilize and which ones to keep for a long time.
Such a balance.
Which ones to build over.
Such a balance. But a good balance. It's got a lot of great choices and not a very heavy game. Mm-hmm.
So. Ish.
And I absolutely love, who did the art? Carolina Kayak, I think is the name.
Is it only one artist?
Yeah, I think so.
Huh, interesting. I thought there was multiple, but yeah.
Beautiful job on it. Absolutely beautiful. So, but that's it. It's there's not a whole lot to talk about. It's just light.
Card drafting,
engine building, gorgeous. That's really what stands out about it. Is the first thing I saw. It's like, I got to try this game just to, if nothing else, but to look at it.
Yeah, as soon as I saw this game, I'm like, ooh, I got to get it. But then it was out of print. And then I randomly found a copy sitting on a local game store shelf. I'm like, what?
Yeah, what is this doing here?
But it's a good one. I enjoy it. If you like nature theme and card drafting, that sort of stuff.
You should try it out.
It is a good one if you can find it. I don't know if it's back in print or not. I have no clue.
If nothing else at a convention, you will definitely see this game out, because it's a pretty popular one.
Yep, it's a good one.
'Tis indeed. So now we're moving on from my nice, light, happy little Meadow to a very heavy Uwe Rosenberg classic, Ora et Labora. Yes, it has a Latin title, so of course I'm like, ooh. No, that didn't actually. Well, kind of. I did like that, but I'm like, this could be a good game. So you found this one. See, look, he's thinking.
Oh, no, it was out of print. I bought it secondhand.
Secondhand?
Yep.
And this one, Uwe, you know how he is. He's doing something with food or goods or some combination of the two, building up stuff and using stuff to make cooler stuff. That's his shtick. That's not different here. But this one's heavier, and what it's got is this really cool, unique little, let me see if I can pull it out. The wheel.
Oh, dear.
The magical wheel of greatness.
Oh, dear.
This is your wheel of greatness. So here you got this dial and it's got numbers and stuff on it. Hopefully it's not glaring too much for you. But as you can look at it and you'll put your goods on here and this is going to keep going around. And eventually you start getting, it's got numbers here and then get higher and higher and higher until you get stuck here. You max out at 10. You can have up to 10 of a good. That's crazy when you're trying to build up stuff. But if Hunter's like, I really want that 6 wood over here, and he takes it, now there's 0. And you have to wait for it to build up again and stuff. Meanwhile, everything else is changing and shifting too. Oh man, you're balancing. It's such a great balancing act of all the resources because you need all those resources because you know Uwe Rosenberg, he's got a million different types of little buildings and things you can work on and build. Needs all these different resources that you have to balance and different combinations of them. And you're putting them out. And what's cool is it's cute little tiles too. You've got the seaside, beachfront property here, maybe a harbor or something. Then, whoop, we have mountainous terrain and hilly terrain and then farmland. And so you're building these buildings and they have to be on this. So you have to fill up your map, of course, because you know Uwe, if you fill it up, you get victory points for doing that. But you don't want to be restricted, so you're going to add more of these cards and all this. Oh, it's all the Uwe kind of point salad-y, but really scattered strategies greatness. And this is a heavy game. This one's several hours. I want to say 2 to 3 hours. There you go. Boom. This is definitely a solid 2 hours for us playing at 2 players. So if you add anybody else, it's definitely going to go to.
It's one of the heaviest Uwe games. It's got a lot going on. It's basically
so much going on.
It's basically resource management. You're building cards. The cards help you do things better or score victory points, and they give you. You're building a tableau, and they have proximity, like this card next to this card. Yeah,
you get the bonuses and stuff if you build them the right way and all that, which is so cool.
And the version I have, I assume it's in all versions. There's 2 different ways. There's like a French and Irish set of cards that you're going to play with. You pick one or the other. Different. You play one or the other in each game. This was the original, one of the original versions. It was reprinted. I don't know who reprinted it, but it was reprinted fairly recently, so maybe you have a better chance of getting it. When I got it several years ago, it was way out of print, and so I had to track down the copy. But I love it. It's got similar feel to Glass Road. So if you played Glass Road and you haven't played this,
is heavy Glass Road.
Yeah,
that's a really good way to describe it. They kind of
have a similar vibe to them.
Absolutely.
Anyway, this is one of my favorite. It's not my favorite, but one of my favorite
one of the favorites
games
up there.
And I won't discuss again about the fact that the and sign is an it.
Blew
my mind. It actually looks like an et.
Yep.
It's an ET.
Fun fact. Yep. Look up what an ampersand is.
I'll never forget. That was like a.
I love that.
What do the kids say? I was today old.
I was today years old.
Today years old when I learned an et was an and. Anyway, I love it. Good one. If you can track it down and you like heavy Uves, if you like games like Glass Road and Feast for Odin in terms of weight, it's similar to it's one definitely on the high end of his games.
Yes, absolutely. So that is my number 85. Now we're going from crazy heavy working with plants to crazy light working with plants. With this little tiny box.
Goodness, we're all over the map, man.
I am called herbaceous. Herbaceous, depending on where you are, if you pronounce your H or not. Herbaceous. You're fired. Okay, so herbaceous. What's wrong with you? And then he's off. He's like, I'm fired. I'm out. Too light a game for you? No, this has magical Beth Sobel art and stuff on here. So you got these beautiful plants and herbs, obviously. And you're planting your garden and you have 4 or 5 different cards that you want to make sets of and different kinds of sets. And you're going to have a community garden and you're going to have your own private garden. The community garden, anybody can take at any time. So it's a press your luck element to the game because you can collect, let things kind of build up and then get a whole bunch of great stuff at once, or someone could snipe that from you. It's all about different kinds of set collections. One of the cards that you have to put, 4 4 or more of the same kind of plant. The next one, it wants pairs, different kinds of pairs. The next one wants all of the same kind of plant. And then, of course, show them the magical extra victory point cheddar biscuit. Oh, yeah. Why we have cheddar. It's so random to me. I love the cheddar biscuit card. Why? Why is that a thing in this? Yes, I know you put herbs in it, but why? There's so many things you put herbs in.
That's the reason.
Yep, there you go.
It's an herb biscuit.
It's an herb cheddar biscuit. But yes, it's got the pretty plants, all these fun, and it's really fun trying to decide which ones you want to fulfill of your victory points, you know, because once you pot your plants, I think that's the term they use for it, they're done. You cannot add any more to that victory condition card. So you want to have everything ready to go. Grab from your community, grab from your private garden, put everything in. Boom, you hopefully have maximized your points for that set. But you also have to race with everyone else because once somebody finishes those up, game's over. I mean, you don't get a lot of time to go and finish all 4 or whatever of your cards. You got to all try to finish at the same time or beat somebody with it. So it's a bit of a race too. Surprisingly, it being a race like that, it is the most chill game. I absolutely love just sitting back, looking at the pretty art. Yes, it's floating away. It's so light. Hunter is trying to tell you in his oh so subtle way. But it's delightful. Absolutely love it. If you're looking for a light, fresh, herbal scented.
Fresh.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Play this card game. A lot of fun.
It's a cool little game. I like the fact that, like you mentioned, it's a pretty straightforward set collection game, but it does have that pressure luck element to it, which actually I enjoy.
I mean, you can make it really cutthroat, but I still feel even while people are sniping plants from you, it just feels chill.
No, it's not chill. I get angry. Someone stole my sage.
So, is there a chill plant?
I don't know.
Maybe you need to plant
chive. That's close.
Chive. I don't think that's chill.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, this is a good one. A little light, like 15-20 minute game.
It is. It's just. Is it that short?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it is that short. Yeah, it feels like more. That's what I also like about this. It's a little tiny box, but it feels like you're doing a whole lot of stuff, and it's a full game, even though it feels fast. It goes fast. So, all right. Troublemaker.
You like this one because the family likes this one as well.
Yeah,
so.
Actually, that's another good plus on its behalf. And it floated away. All right, the next one's a little heavier than that, but still welcoming level game, and that's my number 83, which is the classic. I think this is going to become a classic.
It's already a classic.
Well, no, I mean like 30 years from now, people are still going to be playing Azul. That's what I think.
Mark the tape.
You saw.
Is that what they say?
You heard.
Mark the tape.
That's what they used to say. That's what they used to say.
30 years from now, we're going to come back.
And Azul is still a thing.
It will be a thing.
I really think
I think it's modern classic is what everyone calls this kind of game.
It is. It is a modern classic. So you could be new to board gaming, or if you're in board gaming and you've been under a rock, this game
under a ceramic tile.
Under a ceramic tile, yes. This is a tile laying game, but you've got. It looks like coasters. You set out these little coasters around and you put 4 tiles on each. And then you're going to go through and you're going to pick. And so they're randomized, so they might be the same. They might be different. Oh, hand me a mat too while you're at it. Yeah. So you're going to go through and you pick those. And then you're going to put them on your lovely little thing here. So if you got one of them, you might want to put it here. And 2 and 3 and 4, you want to fill these up basically. At the end of the round, what's going to happen is you're going to take the excess ones once it's full, and you're going to trash those, and then you take one and you're going to put it in that row. You'll notice that there's only one of each type in that row. Unless you're hardcore and want to play it this way and you start out unique, but only one of each color can be in each row or column. So it's kind of Sudoku-esque in that regard. So everybody's playing that. It's just a super fun game. If you grab too many, like say I could only, for whatever reason, only had a red in this row and I got 3 of them, and I have only 2 spaces. The third one is broken. And so now I broke a tile, and I put it down here, and it's negative points. So, and your scoreboard's up here. It's really easy to explain the game. It's just fun picking tiles. They look like starbursts. Please don't let your children eat these. You know. What are you doing? Oh, we're gonna play now? We're playing? Is that this? Is this what we're doing? It's so chill. We're just playing right here. All right. I win. I don't know.
You win.
I win. No. I'm gonna take this black piece and put it here. See? You can just start right off the bat. But it's really great because the replayability for this is really high. It's really unique. It's fun to teach people. A lot of people that like to play Scrabble and some of those other mainstream games will really enjoy like the puzzly element to this, the beautiful tile pieces. They're fun to clack around and play with. It's easy scoring system. It's a lot of fun. Played this with a huge variety of people. The kiddos like it, you know, the grandparents like it, new players, old players. It's just got that classic feel. You're old? I didn't say that. Did I say that? I didn't say that. So.
I'm offended.
Are you? Okay. A little curmudgeon. So that is Azul, a modern classic, as it were. So if you have not had the opportunity to play this little gem, find the A Game Store and play it anon.
Yeah, it's a good one. There's versions. There's like 27 versions of Azul now.
No, there's not. Well, there's 2 other versions and another one's coming out now, right?
I don't know.
I think I heard there's another one coming out.
Anyway, this is the original.
Very fun.
It's cool that it's still in your top 100. It's kind of
Love it.
straightforward.
It is.
Yeah.
But again, it's got a nice classic feel to it. I really think this is one of those games that a lot of people can just sink their teeth into easily. All right. Then from nice, welcoming Azul to heavy duty monster game of doom. See if I can even pick this bad boy up. Let's travel to Egypt for Ankh.
I'm shocked.
Ankh.
Call me shocked. I'm flabbergasted.
Hey, flabbergasted. I'm Rebecca. Okay, so Eric Lang and his trilogy of awesomeness. This is the final one, and I think I would argue that it may be his best one. It's got elements of the first 2 in it, in a really nice smooth combination, and I think that's why I like it the most.
The first 2 being
Blood Rage and that other one.
Rising Sun.
I know it was Rising Sun. I was just messing with you. But anyway, so it was kind of cool. I loved the themes of the other ones. I love the theme of this one. I like that he had like his Norse one, and then he's got his all of a sudden my brain just went dead. Japanese style. I was like, is it Chinese? I don't remember. It was Japanese style. And now we got onto the Egyptian stuff. I've always thought this stuff was fascinating. Anyway, all of them, the minis for these are insanely over the top. But once again, you're doing the same kind of Euro thrash game. It's this interesting hybrid he's got going on. But it's not, I don't know how to explain this. It's not as heavy as it looks and sounds. Don't get me wrong, they're fairly heavy games. But look at this monstrosity. Who doesn't want to move an insane piece like this around the board? Who doesn't want a crocodile for their friend? Right? This thing is amazing. And all of these guys, all of them have different unique powers. It's just mind-blowing. So you've got all these and you're going to build up. Do you want to get a mummy dude? Do you want a crocodile for your buddy? You save up to get these different deities and you stomp around the board with them and you're taking over areas and doing things and you're using, what is it you spend? It's not rage. What do you spend in this one for your energy?
I don't know. Influence.
It's
presence,
something like that. It's got a different
devotion.
It might be devotion. That sounds familiar.
I don't know.
I can't remember now. It's been a little bit since we played it, but yes, currency. It's our currency. And oh man, so you have the
followers.
Same thing. Is it the followers? That's
followers.
Right. You're trying to get your followers, and they're your energy that you would use, or in like Blood Rage terminology, rage, right? And you're moving around the board, accomplishing things, putting buildings down, marking territory, area control, the whole shebang. But you're doing a lot of Euro-y things to accomplish that. The pieces, the production, it's insane. There's no other way to put it. And yes, I think that's one thing that kind of plays into this. Because it's, yes, would it be the same thing if you just had cardboard chits? It'd still be fun. And it'd be a lot of neat, but it would not be the same.
It would be garbage.
Somebody's a little biased. But
Straight garbage.
no, it would not. The game is good. The gameplay is smooth and intuitive, and love, love, love. It may even go higher with more plays. Did you just break?
I broke
finely
Ankh. It's
tuned-
dead.
You broke Ankh. That's terrifying.
Somebody's sticking up too much. Some of these deities is I
was gonna say
everyone's cringing right now because I'm slamming these things in here.
the minis are not super fragile, which is another awesome thing because if you have all the Kickstarter stuff, it takes like 47 boxes to put them all in if you keep them in the original containers.
We haven't played it with the merge yet, right?
We have not played it with the merge.
We've only played it
we
two-player.
want to play it with the merge.
We only played it 2 players. So the way the game works is
But I'm intrigued by this, to be honest.
there's multiple ways to win the game. One is if you get like crazy amounts, you go up basically a victory point track.
Yes.
If you get to the top of the track, you win. And then at certain stages of the game, if you're not up to a certain level in terms of on the victory point track, you just get eliminated. But then at some point, there's a potential for towards the end of the game that the two people at the bottom and last and second last place, they merge into one deity. They combine they're like Voltron. They combine their powers and they've tried to beat the other people. And some people dislike that because basically it almost comes like a cooperative game between those two people. One's kind of really the person in charge. The other person's kind of the tag
assistant.
Along, the coattails, going on the coattails of the person. But I've heard stories of the entire spectrum. People hate it. They despise it. They think it's the worst idea ever. There's those that think it's an awesome idea. It's a great way to play. And it's like, we were behind. We had no chance to win. And boom, we combined our powers. And boom, boom, we win.
I think thematically it's fantastic because, I mean, that's something that the ancients did with their deities.
Oh, yeah. They basically
all the
said
time.
These two crappy, sects. How do you say
SECT?
Yes.
Sects.
Yes, whatever. They basically, they're like, no one's following them. Like they say, okay, we're going to become, you're the snake god, I'm the dog god. Now we're the snake dog god, and we're going to dominate the world. I don't know. I'm making stuff up. Anyway, but I love this game.
I could have explained that, but it's good. No, I like your version better.
Story time with Hunter. Anyway, I really enjoyed this one. I agree this might be my favorite, but I'm holding off judgment
until the merge.
Until we play the merge. And I'm hoping that I can get a 3+ player version of the game played before I make my list. Because I really don't know where to put it. I know
That's limbo, right?
It's kind of like, I'm rating it basically on the 2-player. Like you would basically rating it on the 2-player version when there's a whole.
There's a whole another thing. Yeah, we haven't
a whole thing that we
unlocked
haven't,
yet.
We haven't explored yet.
It's true.
But yeah, it's an awesome game. Crazy overproduced like all the games in the trilogy. Fun. I enjoy it. Area control. Superpowers. Craziness. Asymmetrical stuff. Greatness. Anyway, good one.
Another one that's new. This is like the 10 of the new, isn't it?
I mean, just based on the 2-player version alone.
Oh, it's so good.
It's going to be way up my list.
I believe it, because it's so good.
I love it. It's a fun one.
So good.
Love it. I'm surprised it's made your list, though.
Nope, I really enjoy it. I like his games. I really liked that trilogy, all 3 of them. Really like them. But I think that may be the winner out of them.
All right. What's the last one?
The next one, my number 81, is another heavy hitter, and it has the potential to rocket up very high.
Oh, this is low.
Dinosaur World. Well, you got to understand, I really like Dinosaur Island. This is not the same. This is not the same game.
It's better than Dinosaur Island.
The jury's out on that. So, but it has a lot of the same stuff, but you're building your park out, and then you're taking a little Jeepy tour through it. And when you do the little GP tour through, that's how you get the credit for going to those places and everything. And you get certain perks or victory points or whatever based off of that. Yes, you still have to have the concern for the safety of your park and you have to build your dinosaurs accordingly. But now that part of it is just like an element in the game, setting it up for how your Jeep tour is going to go. So, you lose a couple people along the way, but you still ended up profiting off at the end. You're good to go. It's a little blasé about, life in general. But, if you can get past that, your Jeep tour is going to be highly successful. So, yeah, it's still got all those heavy elements. It's got the fantastic little dinosaur meeples. This time, though, they've got like a screen print on the different colored, cool shaped dinosaur. Dino meeples? Is that what we call them? Is that what the
Dino
meeples? Dino meeples?
Dinoples.
Dinoples?
Dinoples. You
Dork?
heard it here first. Dinoples.
Dinoples. I'm going to go with no. I'm just going to show them off to you. This is like fancy. This is the fancy schmancy version, right?
Yeah.
Or is this? Okay.
I don't know how fancy it is, but yeah.
The pieces, the little dinosaurs.
I don't know if you guys can see these guys.
They kind of blend in.
How about the purple ones?
Do this so you can see it. They blend in, but here we go. Nice white sheet so you can see them. There you are. See the little guys? Aren't they cute? Look at them. They're so cute. You gonna put the purple guys? Look at him. He's so cute. I love them. They're fantastic. Okay, they're dinosaurs. I told you I love dinosaur themes pretty much as I do space themes. No hooligans, though, guys. You gotta know. I love my hooligans. Dinosaur Island has hooligans, and I freaking love them. I think they're hilarious. They're obnoxious, but they're hilarious. Everybody's a really well-behaved paying customer in this game. Ho-hum. So there's that. But the Jeep Tour thing's kind of interesting. I felt like, though, with this game that I was focusing, obviously, because that's kind of the point of the game, on the Jeep Tour thing and not as much, like the dinosaurs weren't as a prominent a thing as with Dinosaur Island. And so that's why I said, with more plays, this may change my mind because there's so much cool stuff as far as the mechanisms and building up your tiles and how placing them works out best. Because there's a strategy for making sure you've got enough fuel for your Jeep because you can only travel a certain length each time. You want to make sure that you're getting your most bang for your buck and getting all the stuff that you need to build up all those victory points and keep going and building your engine further. Still got a lot of the same elements. It's got the cool dice, the crazy dinosaurs, the, different attractions. It's amazing. This is the new one. When did this come out? This came out very recently. This year.
2021.
Well, that is this year.
Well, it depends on when they're watching.
But the time here is 60 to 120 minutes. That's pretty solid. I think now that we're familiar with the game, two-player, we can keep it down to around that hour length. But your first play is going to go long because there is a lot of stuff to go over with that. The turns, I think towards the end, I started to feel like they were a little less clunky. They felt like there was so much going on. It took a while to kind of get used to the flow of the turns. And I think that's one thing that kind of slowed me down on putting this higher on the list. But Hunter is in absolute love with this game and thinks I'm crazy. You're like about ready to pop.
So here's the deal. I love Dinosaur Island. It's amazing. It's one of my all-time favorite games.
Mm-hmm.
But so you play Dinosaur Island, if you played it before, you're building out this dinosaur park. You're building like little shops and little dinosaur pens and stuff like that and little dinosaurs. And then that's it. You're done. It just sits there. It doesn't do nothing. It just sits there. Nothing. It just sits there and does nothing. You sit there and stare at your park and go, ooh, that's a nice park. This one, you're on a Jeep. You're driving around your park. You're doing tours. They're driving over. The people are getting killed, murder, death, driving around in a little Jeep. But anyway, so basically, it's Dinosaur Island. Plus, on top of that, you got this almost kind of action selection because basically, wherever your Jeep drives around, you're basically triggering those tiles. Those tiles do things for you. They produce resources, meeples. They do all sorts of fun stuff.
It's like the movie part of Jurassic Park, right?
Yeah.
You get to do the Jeep tour and do the movie.
So Dinosaur Island, amazing. But park just sits there. It's static. It doesn't do nothing. This park is alive.
It really is.
I may be overselling it a bit. But anyway.
Although I did find it amusing because sometimes you don't have enough resources or whatever to trigger everything. So we would always joke with our little Jeep. We're like, oh, t-shirt shop is closed today. We're gonna peel out over here and just be like, tour's over, folks.
So basically you have a group of meeples that you're drafting each round, and you have to budget them between
because you have to pay for them.
doing DNA and making dinosaurs and security,
You still gotta do the Jeep tour
and activating your tiles. So maybe you go to like you said, to the t-shirt shop. You need a worker there working in the t-shirt shop, or you're not going to buy any t-shirts. So it's
sometimes they're
got
closed
some
at odd hours.
Almost resource management in terms of how you spend your workers.
Yes, definitely.
It's awesome. It's amazing. Contrary to unpopular opinion, it's better than Dinosaur Island.
Wow.
And
I told you the jury's
if
still out
Dinosaur
on
Island
that.
is here on my list, that means Dinosaur World's going to be even higher.
It's true, though.
Amazing. They're both awesome.
It's my number 81.
If you switch that around, you might be closer to where it should be.
Oh, my
It
goodness.
is really good.
Well, I think we know where it's going to be on your list
Really
pretty
good.
soon.
But see,
Pretty soon. It's such a good, it's such a good game.
that said, kind of taking a step back and being honest, you don't necessarily need both, I think. In terms of, if you like Dinosaur Island and you want more, then get this. If you're happy with Dinosaur Island and you're not looking for more, then you don't necessarily need this. If you haven't bought Dinosaur Island yet, get this. You get the Dinosaur Island experience, plus you get to drive a Jeep.
That's pretty fair. I would agree with that statement.
All right.
I would agree with that. So, yeah, that's my 81, which means that we are done with our 10 for today. What a way to end it, man. That was such a good game. They're only going to keep getting better because now I'm going to do my 80 through 71 next. So stay tuned for our next episode. Y'all are awesome. Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Click subscribe to join our wonderful viewer community.
Want to be notified when we upload a new video or go live? Click on the little bell below.